Hey everyone, it's Chris, the PDX Picker. Welcome back to the Little Shop of Hoarders. We're starting off with a different format of this video because it's been 2 days since my last order poll video. I only have 2 things sold. So my sales are not great at all. So let's see if we can turn that around at all. I'm going to try and do a few things to wake my store up, get the ball rolling, get some action going. Because it's bad. It's real bad. Sales have just collapsed for me the past week or so. Today is January 24th, and I bet you in the last 7 days I've only sold about 12 things. That's not good. That's not good. It's not that I haven't been listing. I've been listing every single day, at least 5 items, sometimes more. So we're gonna have to change it up a little bit. I've been running a sale for 4 days, I think. I think I started it on, Tuesday. I started it on Tuesday, the 21st, so we're 3 days in. That hasn't worked. I chose items that were the oldest items in my inventory. So I think it was 300 days and older. I don't know, somewhere around there. Maybe 200 days and older. Stuff that has been listed for 6 months or more. And I did a 25% off sale. So I didn't honestly expect it to be a game changer. I didn't expect a whole lot of items to sell because this is stuff that's been listed for a while and hasn't sold yet. Something must be going on, is either just not desirable, price too high, even with the 25% off, or maybe it's just a little bit too niche of an item, so it's just something that's not going to sell regularly as it is. So what else can we do? Well, I've got 2 ideas that have come to mind. The first is something I do regularly anyway. Do it usually about every 2 weeks. So we'll see how that works. I'm going to send out offers to all of the listings that qualify for that. And so we'll do that here shortly. Normally I send out 5% offers. Today I'm going to send out 10% offers. We'll see if that does anything. The other thing I'm going to do to try and change it up a little bit more is I very, very rarely promote any of my listings. That's just not something I regularly do. Every now and then there will be a few things that I promote, but nothing full scale. You know, I don't promote every item or big chunks of swaths of items. So I'm going to actually change that up, and I'm going to try that out. A lot of the things I've been listing lately are clothing items. eBay bombards me pretty regularly with little stats that say something to the effect of 65% of items like this are promoted by other sellers. Well, that's probably true. I have no reason to think otherwise. And in which case that means for every 3 listings, 2 of them are promoted. Well, mine is one of them that isn't. And it seems to be true because a lot of my clothing listings, specifically, unless it's a really, well-known brand, I'm thinking of a pair of Danner boots that I just listed yesterday. Unless it's a really well-known brand, it's not getting a huge number of views. My listings are not being viewed all that much. And I think that might have to do with them not being promoted. So because I am trying to turn my store around and get more activity, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull listings from the last 90 days, and specifically clothing related, and I'm going to promote them. I think in my mind I'm going to promote them at 10%. So what that means is, for those of you that aren't familiar with eBay promoted listings, they show up as a sponsored listing for when folks search for particular items. They'll show up near the top as a sponsored listing. And when it sells, it will charge an extra percentage, in this case 10%, because that's what I am going to promote it at. The higher the amount the higher percentage, the more often it shows up in the search listings. I don't know exactly how it works in terms of the specific formula, but I know that ultimately when you sell an item, off of a sponsored listing. So if somebody clicks on that listing because it says sponsored on there, then you will get charged whatever percentage of promotional fee that you have applied. So I'm going to give that a shot. I am going to see if that does anything. But anyway, I'm not going to pull the 2 orders yet. This is Friday. I will probably pull the orders on Sunday or Monday. And I'll give you a little update to see if this has helped at all. Not really expecting it to be immediate results, but you never know. So, especially with if I do have a lot of offers to send out, sometimes that can for sure get immediate results. But I don't know about the promoted listings, but we'll see. So that's the update so far. We'll see you in a couple of seconds for you, a couple of days for me. All right, we are back. Day 2 of this video. We've had a weekend, a few more sales, so that is good news. Update for you on what I've done to try and increase my sales. I sent out offers. I started a sale. I started a promoted listings campaign of sorts. It's not technically a campaign, but I chose a bunch of listings to promote. Most successful, sending out the offers. I sold 2 items from that, so that's good. The other 2, no sales from my discount sale, and I think I had 12 clicks total and no sales from promoting my listings. So that didn't work yet, but we're still going to keep going. Let's go ahead and pull these orders and then have some interesting news about a return and some eBay news that goes along with that, kind of. So some good stuff. The first sale, I'm happy. I just listed these. They sold pretty much immediately. A pair of Burton snowboard boots. Paid $10 for these at the thrift store, and like I said, I listed them. They sold virtually immediately for $44.99. They sold in about a day. Burton Moto brown and tan, women's size 7. So I have successfully now sold, I think, 3 pairs of snowboard boots, 2 pairs for good money, and several for not so good money. Or the other 2, I think, whatever. It's doing a little better when it comes to sales on snow gear. I do have a pair of ski boots that I need to list. I should list them today. I just need to clean them up a little bit because, well, it's almost the end of January and I don't want to miss ski season. This sold. This is one of these that I sold on an offer. It's a Kurt Adler, vintage Kurt Adler Jester Bear Christmas ornament. I have several of these, but bought these for pennies. Maybe we'll just say $1 each, and it sold for $10, free shipping. Sent out an offer for, 10% off or something, and it was originally listed for $15, $14.99 free shipping. And then somebody countered, and I took the $10 because I've got several of them. They're virtually, it's all profit now at this point, so I've more than made up my money on all the other ornaments that I got. Here's the second item that sold for sending out an offer. It is this pair of Stampin' Up! Stamps, a lot of 2, just the little one here. Picked these up for $1 each, and they sold for $18.81 free shipping for the both of them. These are for punching these little labels or tags out of paper. So that was the success story when it came to sending out offers. Actually, I think I had a third item, this next one that sold from sending out an offer. But before we get into that, because that's actually the big sale item of the day, let's talk about a little bit of the eBay news and then how it relates to a return that I got. So some of you may remember just very recently I sold this vintage Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt. I want to say it's from the 90s. It's made in the USA. So, let's just say it's from 1995, and that would put it at 30 years old. Sold it on offer for $30.05 plus shipping, but the buyer returned it because they didn't like the fact, and you know, no judgment here on the buyer, but they didn't like the fact that the logo on here, or the print, was real cracked. I think you can get a pretty good view of that right there. So it was just more cracked than she expected it to be. So she returned it. You know, which is interesting because she had to pay the return shipping. So essentially she was out approximately $20 on an item that she spent $40 for. So that's one of those returns you gotta wonder why people do it. Because she paid the original shipping of $9.95. She then paid to have it shipped back. So that's another, I don't know, $7-8 probably. I did refund the original purchase price at $30.05, but anyway, whatever. So the big news, it's not big, but it's news, is that eBay has just announced that they're finally going to come out, finally in my opinion, with a little bit more of a guideline on used clothing and different condition labels. So instead of just labeling it something as new with tags, new without tags, pre-owned, they're going to have a ladder of quality categories to choose from. So I think the choices are pre-owned excellent, pre-owned good, pre-owned acceptable, and then each of those, there's certain criteria that would have it fall under those different categories. So this would probably be pre-owned acceptable. You know, it does have cracking, but there are no holes. Maybe pre-owned good. I don't know. Either pre-owned good or pre-owned acceptable, because, you know, if an item has holes in it, or stitching is coming undone, or there's a major, you know, integrity issue with the item, which this one doesn't have, but if there is one, then that would, I think, fall under the acceptable category. Maybe there's a poor, pre-owned poor category that those would fall under. Either way, it is nice because, should I put this under Winnie the Pooh or Pooh? I'll put it under Winnie the Pooh. Either way, in theory, it could have decreased the chances that that item would have been returned if I had more choices for how to categorize that particular sweatshirt. So that's good. I'm happy that they are doing that. You know, that's good on that one hand. On the other hand, it's going to be a little bit frustrating because I know people will then complain, oh, you said this was pre-owned good, but really it's pre-owned acceptable, because there's other eBay categories that use those different ladders of breaking down the condition. It'll also take a little bit longer to list the items, because then we have to, instead of just immediately choosing pre-owned, we have to try and figure out what that condition actually equals. This was the big item seller of the day, a Nikon Pymag water system. This is a water filtration system that hooks up to your sink in the kitchen, and picked this up for $5 at the yard sale, and it sold for $111. I don't think they make these anymore. Nah, they probably do. This is a little bit of an older version, and so because of that, the price was discounted accordingly. But right there is a picture of what it looks like. It's just a big plastic thing that holds a couple of filters. They call it the most advanced water system in the world. So who are we to argue with that? It took about 6 months to sell, but I will wait that long for sure for that kind of sale. I actually sold it for $113. So even a little bit better than I thought. Next item that sold is something I picked up at my favorite thrift store, and it was interesting. The message I got, I accepted an offer on it. This is a new with tags dog training apron. So it's an apron that you wear when you're training a dog. It holds treats, it holds leashes or things. I don't know. It just makes it easier for when you're doing dog training to just have things easily accessible. It's by a company called Rucka Pets, and I paid $10 for this. So it was a little bit priced up, but I did sell it for $35. I think this is a European company.
Don't have a lot of these for sale here in the States. But anyway, the interesting message that I got was that somebody sent me an offer for $35. I had it listed for $50, and they said, even though this is adjustable, and maybe it isn't adjustable. Anyway, she just said she was going to have to do some alterations to it, and so hopefully I would accept a lower offer, but she thought that this was just so cute and would be so nice for when she's training, but she was going to have to do the alterations, so would I accept a lower price? Anyway, I guess I don't mind the extra stories that come along with it. And again, sales have just been so poor that even without the story, with a $35 offer, I would have accepted that, for sure. This was another offer I accepted. Again, just trying to get the store going. Maybe selling things for a little bit less than I would under normal circumstances, but I had this pair of Gillette called TTO safety razors. I had them listed for, I think, $25 for the pair of these. I paid just shy of $8 for both of them. And here they are right here. Okay condition. You know, there's some age that's showing on these. And somebody sent me an offer for $15 for the pair, and I accepted that as well. And then the last item that sold of the day. This was good. It's an Oster hair clipper. Yeah. This one I just recently bought for $3.99 inside here. It's got this case. This was from the 90s. The original receipt was in there from Fred Meyer. I want to say like 1997. And that sold for $31.95. This nice Oster adjustable hair clipper. I think people are banking on the fact that these older ones were just better made, because you can buy new ones now for less than $31.95 plus shipping. But you know, hopefully this one will last more than the 5 years that the new ones that they sell will last. Obviously it's lasted this long and it's still working, but yeah, so that was a nice sale as well. Good profit on that one. We are just still not doing well. So today, still not doing well when it comes to sales. Today is January 27th. Take a look here and see if we have even hit somewhere close to the same sales numbers we had last year. Put my password into my computer here. Go to my reseller Genie. Had a few returns, so that of course has an effect on. Apparently I need to charge my mouse because it's being finicky. Anyway, that has an effect on sales because the returns come out of your sales, obviously. $7.99 for the Oster clippers, not $3.99. So nowhere near as good as not nowhere near, but not as good as I had originally thought. $3,378.02 of sales in January 2025. $3,913.93 in January of 2024. So in the last 4.5 days of the month, got a lot of work to do to catch up. This would be my lowest month in a year if the month ended right here. So a little frustrating, a little concerning, but hopefully it's just a slow, small bump in the road. Still have 4 days. Maybe the sales will pick up. They're not great selling days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not great days, but we work with what we got. So fingers crossed, still going to think positively and trudge ahead, do my listings, keep going, keep doing the things that I know have worked for me in the past. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Please like it if you did. Subscribe to my channel to get some more movies like this. Videos, whatever. Content like this in the future.
Good luck with your reselling ventures, and we will catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.